All right, well, welcome back to the Hometown Business Podcast. I am Autumn Dell. I am your host. This podcast is sponsored by a local realtor in town. She is a new sponsor, so it's exciting. Her name is Pam Greenlee, and she's a realtor for the Home Store.
And she is so nice.
Yeah, she is. I met with her
nice
today.
lady.
Yeah, she was actually on the podcast 2 weeks ago, I think. She's super, super nice. And she's a sommelier, which I did not even know what that was.
Oh, well, we're going to put her to work at the Howard House. Maybe.
Yeah, for sure. I have her in my phone now, and I'm like, okay, Kim, I'll be calling you when I need wine recommendations while we're out to dinner, and I want to make sure my wine meshes well with my meals. So super cool. If you're in the market to buy or sell, she is your gal, your girl, your lady, because she is just top notch with personal care when it comes to just being there for you through the crazy process of buying or selling a home. So reach out to her. I'll have all of her information in the show notes. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, or if you just have questions, I think she is more than happy to answer them.
And she can help you buy a house and take you to buy some wine.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe she'll bring wine to you as a housewarming gift. So that would always be fun. But today, our guest is none other than the mayor of Monroe, Mr. John Howard. I'm sure a lot of you have seen him around and know who he is. So I'm super excited to have you on.
Well, thank you. Thank you
podcast
so much
today.
for having me. We've been trying to put this together for months, and we had a pandemic, and
Right.
we had stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. I know I'm busy, so multiply that by 10, and it's probably what you are.
I don't know. If I were that busy, that'd be great. But I do. When I became mayor, and it is a part-time job, that was great. I was balancing my personal business, a promotional marketing company, my personal business with being the mayor, and it was about 6-8 hours a week. Sometimes more, sometimes less, of course. But when the pandemic hit in March of last year, it was a full-time 40-hour-a-week job.
Yeah.
And on the line with CDC, emergency management, with the governor a couple of times. Those were not great phone calls to have. But it was all hands on deck, making sure our city could run, we could provide services for the people here, but we could also keep our employees safe.
Yeah.
I know a lot of folks we closed City Hall first part of March, and we've kept it closed because we're a little different. If COVID runs rampant through the city, employees at City Hall, and we're all sick at home, and I know the math. I know the percentages don't work out that everybody would be sick and dying at the same time. But were we all to have to quarantine and the power goes out, you don't get power back on.
Yeah.
And so folks say, well, my bank's open. Well, you know what? You can get your bank through an ATM just as easily as you can pay through the ATM or through the Dropbox or online. So it just works well. Our on-time payments are up. Our disconnections are way down. So it's an unintended training process that folks come in and they go, you know what? Gosh, I can pay online. It makes it just as easy, and I don't have to go inside.
Right.
It does make it difficult for those who want to see planning and zoning, and it's not real easy to just stop in and drop and see the mayor. But I'm always as close as the phone. Pretty much everybody has my mobile number,
Right.
404-427-2707. So I'm good. I can meet anywhere.
Yeah.
Ice cream's great. Brewery's great.
Yeah. Well, you just have to step back and get creative in these times. And I think a lot of businesses are realizing how much in person wasn't really required. And
Right.
you would think it'd be saving them some money. I don't know.
It's very good for Monroe because for the last really 12 to 15 years, and I don't want to age Stacey Jones too much. She was our first downtown development economic director who had this vision for carrying Monroe into the future, and she was, of course, quickly snatched up by a private firm, and now I think She's on the path to become a president of a college. I mean,
Wow.
she's a super, super smart, wonderful person
Yeah.
who actually lives in Monroe. Then it went to Carrie Bailey, who also got recruited away. Carrie's wonderful. Ansley Holder, recruited away, absolutely wonderful. Emily Gallman, she got recruited away, absolutely wonderful. Now we have Sadie Krozik, and Sadie's probably the smartest person I've ever met. She is just an outstanding visionary for where we want our town to go. And we were ranked #1 downtown in the state 2 years ago. This year we were at Georgia Exception on Main Street. So as every business is full and people want to be here and our quality of life is excellent, we're in the process of redoing all of our parks, which were an embarrassment. Pandemic hit a good time because folks realized they want a quality of life. They want to be in an area where we know our germs.
Right.
You know, so we have a trust in each other. And if you have a vibe downtown, it's a cool, hip place to be. You can eat at you can eat at a former gas station at LR Burger. You can eat at a brand spanking new building at Silver Queen. You can eat at Potluck Cafe, which has been a mainstay here for a couple of decades. That the folks who were having to go into Atlanta every day realized, I don't really have to go into Atlanta but once a week. So if you look at it, the largest legal firm in Atlanta is getting ready to break into 4 pieces and moving outside the perimeter. So it's a great way to do business. And technologically, this conversation is now going out to thousands.
Right.
And we can do it from our little bitty best small town in America.
Yeah,
It's very
if you
nice.
have to hunker down, what better place than a place that has everything? I mean, super charming, super just like if you never really had to leave or if you rarely had to leave, I don't think you would miss much.
I know there are actually a lot of times when we have something great going on and I have to go do something but I don't want to leave this weekend.
I know when the outdoor concerts, I've missed one recently. That might have been in Loganville, but I mean, there's always fun things, and I'm like, dang it, we're going to the lake.
I know. Gosh, we have to go have fun.
I know. So, going backwards a little bit, what got you into politics to begin with?
I think that I'm not a politician. So, and that's kind of cheesy. You hear all these political figures say that. David Thompson will tell you he's not a politician. And after dealing with him on the jail stuff, I get the way he makes decisions from a business standpoint, but then we have to make sure that we can flesh that out and make it look nice for the public, and we work together to find the most amicable solution that fits everybody. So from a business standpoint, he has a vision. From a business standpoint, I have a vision. When the real quick, down and dirty first 30 years of my life, grew up here, went to George Walton Academy, graduated, went to the University of Florida, graduated from UF, worked, started a business, Pinnacle Advertising Specialties, with my father, and that's my business to this day. But the way we started it, I didn't like it. So I found a position in Sarasota, Florida, doing a master plan community called Lakewood Ranch. 28,000 acre working ranch. We developed the first 11,500 acres with the first 3 developments of regional impact. We had light industrial, retail, private schools, public schools, golf courses designed by Arnold Palmer. I got there, we had 29 homes, and when I left, we had a little over 2,100. And that was in 6 years. So I learned all the development business part then. My dad was a developer here. Prior to that, my dad also grew up in the county jail. His father was the sheriff here. So we have long roots in Monroe, graduated from George Walton to never return because we didn't have anything.
Right, it was different. It was different 10 years ago.
Small town is great, but looking at employment opportunities, looking at nightlife, looking at fun, looking at a place to be that hip 23 to 28-year-old, you're looking at something at the time you were looking at something different.
Yeah.
Now, to move back and go, ta-da, I've been doing this development down here. I know the way we can make this work.
Yeah.
So I got involved. I was on the planning commission for several years. We had good leadership during the recession and housing crisis. Greg Thompson was the mayor, and from a financial standpoint, the city was in the best possible shape it had ever been in. And that says a lot during that crisis.
Yeah.
I saw some things infrastructure-wise that really needed to be addressed. I'm real big on parks, because when the tagline of every master plan community is live here, work here, play here. Mm-hmm. Well, if you want to get down to it, we are a small town that is now smaller than the master plan community that I came from. Yeah. And you want people to be able to live here and work here and play here. Mm-hmm. So the downtown businesses is great. The small businesses are the backbone of our community. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, without a doubt. But what's nice is the visionaries from 24 years ago started Stanton Springs Industrial Park, which is owned 25% by Walton County. And our partners in that are Jasper County, I think, is with 5%, and Morgan County and Newton County. Mm-hmm. Bring in Shane Short. You'll hear me say a lot of times, this is the best hire this area we've ever had in this area. Mm-hmm. So Shane Short goes out and he pulls in Facebook all by himself, $42 billion. Mm-hmm. And of course brought in Takeda Pharmaceuticals, which was Baxter, which was then Baxalta, which is now Takeda. We have another major development coming up that I can't talk about, but that's the kind of jobs that will draw people here who are educated, young, mm-hmm. and want to be in a cool, hip area.
Right.
So that's what we want to be.
Yeah.
But back to the live here, work here, play here. Okay, well, there's work here. That's great. Mm-hmm. Live here. We have rooftops. We do struggle with affordable housing.
Yeah.
And at the moment, housing prices are higher than they've ever been mm-hmm. in Monroe. But also materials are higher than they've ever been.
Right.
So it's a perfect storm to really push something like an accessory dwelling unit. So if you have a lot and you can build a mother-in-law suite, mm-hmm. you can rent to a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, somebody who's making, a starting salary is shy of $40,000.
Right. For
any of those three, you're 25 years old. You really don't want the 3-bedroom, 2-bath, mm-hmm. $385,000 house that most of us can't afford anyway.
Yeah.
You want to be able to move. You want to rent for, if you're a teacher, you have a year at a time.
Right.
So we would encourage those accessory dwelling units called ADUs, mm-hmm. That whether it's a garage apartment, whether it's actually mother-in-law, father-in-law, mm-hmm. suite, small house on a lot. And that's going to take the edge off of some of our immediate needs.
Right.
It's just going to take
and most of these houses have that.
Like right. A lot of houses have that. I'm trying to figure out a way to do it at my house.
My mom actually lives with us, and we built in our garage, which sounds super trashy, but my husband is good at it. Like, you would never know. Anytime I tell people that, I'm like, but it's not like gross. Like, there's not a garage door anymore.
Right.
But it works for us. I mean, it took our house up in value. So. Well,
we were going to do the same thing with my father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, if Tara Walker listens, and Tara, I hope you are, she's a teacher at George Walton Middle School. Mm-hmm. Molly Crow's a teacher at Monroe area in high school, and they both have told me in the last couple of years that, we really have like $1,000 a month that would work, and we need a place to live, but try to find something for $1,000 a month in Monroe right now.
Right.
Very, very difficult. And I thought, I've got a great idea. Julie and I, we had sold our house and we were buying a new one, and I went, we can build here, mm-hmm. and Molly or Tara or another teacher or somebody could move in and help pay equity and
Right.
all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then she said, or my dad could. And I went, oh yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was a good way to get her father here, and he moved into the house first, and we realized then there's just no way that the house that he's in fits him perfectly, and
Right.
he made us go buy a different house, and which is fine because we got a great one. I trust that builder much more than my previous builder.
Yeah.
Because I was my previous builder. So.
Oh. So are there other cities in the area that are kind of like, I think of Monroe as one of those cities. I'm like, I'm in Loganville. So
Right.
All right, Loganville, you got a really good example right there.
Well,
there
are what we'll say competitors, but in this case, it's all very friendly.
Yeah.
Look at Walton County first. Social Circle, great town.
Yeah.
Pretty downtown, great houses, and mainly that's our industrial base. Loganville forever was the place to be.
Yeah.
Because of retail. Local battles some challenges in that it's halfway in Gwinnett and halfway in Walton. Gwinnett's just bursting at the seams. Loganville, I think, leans more toward having apartments, and I'm not a tremendous fan of large apartment complexes.
Right.
But they also have 78, 20, and 81 that all run right in the middle. So they will always battle traffic issues.
Yeah.
Our downtown was organic growth. I mean, it's only been here since 1904, I think, was when our downtown really got started. At least that's the first picture that I've ever seen from atop the courthouse was from 1904.
Okay.
If you look on an economic development map and how things work out, and I don't know your exact audience for listening to the podcast, so if I throw any other towns under the bus, sorry.
Well, I just realized I kind of threw Loganville under the bus.
No, Loganville's great.
Close.
Loganville's great. But if you look at, I'm going to throw Clark County under the bus. Clark County has a third grade level reading that is deficient. Well, if you're deficient in third grade level reading, you have a high teen pregnancy problem. You have a high single parent household. You have low property values, high crime, high tax. All right. So you take that, and that's Clark County. And they also have a homeless problem.
Yeah.
You're stepping over people. It's an issue that's going to face all of us back to affordable housing and mental health. So where are folks going to go? Well, they went to Oconee County. Oconee County is outstanding. And they did their planning very well too, moving their retail portion off Epps Bridge, and that brings in a lot of money to the county. That's great. They have great schools, great quality of life, very high property values. But guess what? Every third grader there reads like on a 5th, 6th, 7th grade level. They don't have teen pregnancy problems.
Yeah.
A lot of dual parent incomes, high property values, low crime, and tax, since their retail has done so well, is reasonable. But you can't get in there for less than $500,000 these days.
Right.
So where are you going to go? Well, you're not going to Newton County. You're not going to Rockdale County. You're not going to Gwinnett County. You're not going to DeKalb County because that's
More of the same.
not good.
Yeah.
So what we've found is that commerce has grown very well, like we have. Clarksville and Cornelia are just outstanding. I mean, they're managed very well. Their mayors are not 100% hands-on. They have a city administrator like I do, Logan Probst, who's back to the best hire we've ever had. There's another one.
Yeah.
Logan's outstanding. So we do have competition. Monroe is set very well because of our location frankly, away from the interstates.
Yeah.
Where we don't have 78 running right through town. That's tough. I mean, that's a challenge that really Loganville has to face.
Yeah.
So on the competition wise, where do you look? I don't know. Sarin B, south of us, Forsyth, Monroe County, they do have the interstate. They do have a huge hotel motel bed tax. Eric Wilson's down there. He has their downtown looking good. They have the scoops, good schools.
Yeah.
And the perfect storm for Monroe, when I came in, make no mistake, I know I'm the cheerleader. That is my job. I mean, no matter how pretty this face is not, I am the cheerleader for Monroe. People get stuff done. Our hospital was Clearview when I actually switched over to Piedmont just the year before I came on. Piedmont inherited a failing hospital. And I'm not saying that to be mean, I'm saying that to be accurate. They were a failing hospital. Larry Ebert came in with Piedmont, and they're now a top 10 hospital of the state.
Yeah.
Our public schools had not for years had high expectations of their students. Brian Hicks at Monroe area is outstanding. Alan Satterfield at Carver it is amazing what he has done with that school. So of course Loganville has a great school, Walnut Grove's a great school, the Walnut Grove cluster, they're all steering the ship in the same direction.
Right.
And now all of a sudden our schools have been named among the top in the nation. So to have good health care, to have a strong downtown, to have quality education, is a pretty good start.
Yeah.
And then we took our parks back from the county in January through our SDS, which is our agreement on what the county does, and it's called service delivery strategy. What the county does, what we do, how we have automatic and mutual aid agreements between our fire department and their fire departments, and how we all help each other without duplicating services. Well, 10, maybe 20 years ago, somebody thought it'd be a great idea for the county to maintain all the parks. And they do a great job with athletic fields, but they don't do a great job with soft parks, passive parks, fun kids parks.
Right.
So we took those back. We shuttered Coker Field. The man was a war hero. I can't, in good conscience, have a park open that is subpar, that has his name on it. So we shuttered that for now. We spent about $300,000 on Pilot Park. We've completely renovated that. We have a bathroom coming in the next several months. That's the one thing that's not there, that's left to do. We're renovating Matthews Park, which we had this great plan for Matthews. And let's say it was a $1 million plan, including land acquisitions and trails and all that stuff. And then Reliant Homes donated 123 acres on the Alcovey River, which we, at this particular moment, affectionately call Reliant River Park. We have not done anything with it yet. We do have plans, but the goal is to do, and by the way, we purchased this building, this building in the park, all the property next door. Then we turned and sold this building to a group of investors who made it into co-work at the Metro, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Axe throwing, Southern Ox, which is fantastic, and y'all go do that.
Yeah. That's fun.
Doug Root is selling reclaimed lumber right next door where the brewery is going to be going, Major Humphreys. So sold that to them. Then we started planning out our Crown Jewel Park, which is our downtown green. We don't have a name for it yet. You'll have a splash pad, bathrooms, trails, it's a soft park, but we'll also have an amphitheater there as well.
Okay.
So we'll have our concerts here
Yeah.
from now until forever. So in addition to working on that, we'll break ground there probably in November, late November, early December.
Okay.
And we'll hope to have Matthews finished by that time. We're putting in front of council next week a $325,000 proposal for what we have left to do there. So bathrooms, pavilions, working on new paving in the parking, changing a couple of holes on their Frisbee golf course. We didn't want to disturb that at all, but
Right.
just the way parking is going to work, we'll have to make a couple of changes. So next summer, by the end of next summer, moving here, we'll be able to probably host our first concert at the amphitheater.
Oh, cool.
For May and June, the first two concerts, I'm thinking Sadie has an idea of moving it back to the courthouse. We'll see.
Yeah.
That's a long way off, and the powers that be can make those decisions, and they can just tell me later.
Yeah.
So the parks are very important
Yeah.
to the quality of life and to the living here.
Right.
Who wants to take his or her 5-year-old daughter and 7-year-old son downtown and go, okay, we're going to shop.
Right.
How about, okay, Mom and Dad, will you take me to the park for a little bit and then go buy, whatever you want to buy.
Yeah.
So our parks are real important because the parks are real important for all socioeconomic levels. Easy for me to say. When you're in a school, whether it's George Walton Academy or Monroe Elementary, you're with these kids. This is your group. And if you play sports, you might play for, football in Monroe or basketball or baseball. If you go to church, you're with a specific group. But when you're at a park, you're playing with whoever shows up.
Right.
You don't really care where they go to school.
Yeah.
They're just fun. So socioeconomically, it is the best thing to build, say, love for fellow man. These kids can learn how to play each other. As a matter of fact, the moms and dads can meet each other and have friends, while their kids are doing it,
Right.
and not tugging at their heels.
Right.
So
In the YMCA, that's going to happen.
YMCA is coming. I think
so
we're
excited.
right now. We're looking at breaking ground by the end of the year. I haven't gotten a recent update. I was on that planning board. Lee Garrett and Meredith Malcolm have been the two who've taken the ball and just run with the major donor group. Gary Hobbs is the one who's really put it all together. Lee Rowell, who is a super nice guy. He's a Boy Scout. His family has been so good to Monroe. There are people who've been good to Monroe with their actions, and there are people who've been good with their finances, and there are people who've been good with their words. And then you have people like Daryl McWaters and Lee Rowell, who are very good to us with the fact that they love the town, they love our direction, with their finances, and thank God they're able to do it, because I'm not able to just go buy 123 acres with taxpayer money, and with their brains. I mean, they actually have plans. Lee is the one who got Charlotte Route Boulevard extension put in. It was a 10-year process. And he is also the one who met with John Argo, the developer, who is finally getting Publix coming out of the ground with Five Below and Raccoon Shoes and Marshalls and Ross and Huey Magoo's and Planet Fitness and Planet Smoothie.
Okay. That'll be cool.
So, I hate to ever quote Hillary Clinton, but it takes a village. It does. If we have healthcare, education, donors, public and private investment, and a really good team at City Hall led by Logan, with a super economic developer that Shane, and a downtown economic developer named Sadie. I'm in a good spot because I know these people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I think just business owners, I mean, I'm not even in downtown Monroe necessarily. A lot of my clients are.
Right.
But I think we feel the same way. Like, we are just so lucky to be in a community that supports so well, that has the ability to support well.
Well, that's true. And one of the things that's really cool, if you look downtown, Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. Mm-hmm. The arts are a cornerstone of a successful society. Mm-hmm. So Monroe Walton Center for the Arts, all of their classes are full. Mm-hmm. Hope Reese is just...
She's one of our clients.
Outstanding.
Yes.
And then you have Mark Hammis on stage, mm-hmm. and he puts on great shows, and they are sold out every time. So the arts are there, and then our downtown businesses are outstanding. And what's really cool is if you grew up in a small town, you know that people said one day, hey, I'd like to start a restaurant. Mm-hmm. I can cook. They didn't quite know the service, they didn't quite know the merchandising,
right.
but they might have had a consistent business. Mm-hmm. And as Monroe has moved forward, we have folks like Ross Bradley, who started Your Pie, and he knows how to run a restaurant. Mm-hmm. Chris Collin can run a restaurant like it's nobody's business with LR Burger.
Yeah, he's good.
Kyle Cave and her sister Donna own Blue Rooster. Mm-hmm. And when they did a show at Southern Living several years ago, they had shut the original Blue Rooster, which was in Grayson. And they talked themselves into this Southern Living show. Gwinnett Daily Post the next day said, Blue Rooster's back. Kyle had to go get permission from her ex-husband to use the name so they could put it back in Gwinnett County.
Yeah.
That's where it is on the square now. So Kyle and Donna, their merchandising is excellent. Mm-hmm. Their food is outstanding. The service is great. Mm-hmm. The people who work there, and I'm going to say young ladies. I'm not sure if we have any men or boys who work there. It's like Chick-fil-A type employees.
Yeah.
And you don't have to look far to see that replicated all through downtown. Mm-hmm. When you look at Amy Gelsthorpe and Madeline Pierce and Delaney Gelsthorpe, that's the American Trilogy. Amy and her husband Kyle were talking one night and said, we found this opening downtown Monroe, and mm-hmm. I think it'd be really cool if we could do some kind of cool store. And Kyle said, well, that'd be great. Let's talk about it. And 24 hours later, Amy signed the contract, and 29 days later, they were open.
Yeah.
And it looks, they know what they're doing. So,
right.
Okay, she said, this is great, this is successful, and we're having a great time. And oh, by the way, let's open Everlasting Bridals right down it next to our newest, what do we call it, public area, the factory at the mill.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, Jeff Lott graduated in 1988, the same year that I did, has JL Designs. JL Designs is great. Guess who manages the factory? Well, that's Jeff Lott too. So the businesses aren't just mom and pop, we don't know what we're doing. It is seasoned professionals who know how to operate a business.
How to do it well.
Right.
Which I love supporting people who do it really well. Like,
absolutely.
my biggest pet peeves is walking in someplace and being like, like y'all are just stopping just short of excellent or even good. I can handle a little shy.
Stopping just short of excellent is also very close to just short of failing. So, and it's tough to see, and you can still see some of that downtown occasionally. Mm-hmm. But the game is really turned up.
The culture is, you got to step up your game. We want A players.
Right. And look at Amici. Mm-hmm. They've stepped up their game just by moving.
Right. I haven't even been in the new one. I need to.
Well, last night I went and they said, I'm sorry, it's a 2.5 hour wait. We're not taking any more wait on the wait list.
I see them say that on Facebook sometimes. So, but cool problem to have.
Right. Right.
Way to go. Well, that's awesome. The only question I had you really got to it, but just seeing if you could elaborate on it anymore. Like, what are some of the longer term goals for the city?
We have had Well, we celebrate our 200th birthday,
Uh-huh.
November 30th. And it's great, and I'm so excited. But I want to blame this on Ronald Reagan, one of my favorite political figures in the history of the world. When Ronald Reagan was running against Jimmy Carter in 1979, he said, "You tax and spend Democrats, you tax too much, you spend too much." So everybody from Monroe, Georgia went, "You know what? I don't think we're Democrats anymore. We're going to be Republicans." And they all jumped into city council, county commission seats. We're not spending any money on anything we don't have to. So guess whose parks were dilapidated? Ours. Guess who quit doing infrastructure projects that were not an absolute necessity at the time, but are an absolute necessity now?
Yeah.
You look at paving projects where instead of milling the road and repaving right, they just threw asphalt on top of the old asphalt. So that contributes to major stormwater issues, because guess what? When you put your asphalt on over the other asphalt, your curb gets shorter. So we have a lot of infrastructure things we need to do. That's a professional phrase, things we need to do. South Madison is a great example. We totally redid the sewer with a CDBG grant, Community Development Block Grant, on South Madison last year. And then there was a headache driving for about 6 months because we couldn't pave in the cold season, so we had to wait, so we had to wait for the timing to be right. So we've repaved South Madison. We're focusing on a lot of infrastructure fixes. We still have to renovate Hammond Park. We're looking at ways to enhance our downtown walkability. We're redoing Wayne Street. The parking lot behind the former PD, right downtown, master planning that. So you'll see some buildings there. The new PD, which is called Blaine Station, they've just moved in the last couple of weeks. We're totally master planning that site as well. You look for some restaurants. I know some small boutique type businesses. Athens Tech in its location may play a role in that as well. Then you look at this is the only time in my entire life we've had developments going on at every corner of the city. So from rebuilding sewer to renovating parks to long-range planning for a huge park, to putting in new roads. And if we've been working with the county on this infrastructure package. County would like to get the Hard Labor Creek Reservoir water pumping station. That would be on their wish list. We have a couple things on our wish list too that will help us alleviate traffic. We didn't pass the T-Splost last year, which was a huge mistake. And here's why. Folks will say this, and I'm guilty of having said it myself. If you can't build a road with the money that I already give you, you're doing something wrong. Okay. Take, let's say 3,000 property tax payers in Monroe. And to put in a road, let's say $2.5 million. Well, they would never ever be able to pay enough property tax. I mean, unless they didn't want to pay their own mortgages and didn't want to ever eat again, to afford to pay for that new road. You know, the taxes go to maintenance. Taxes go to public safety. Taxes don't go to capital improvement projects unless it's like that. You know, you pave a runway for the airport, which is an economic development engine for the city. We have new hangars over there, which are public-private investments. But we have a road that we're looking at doing that will alleviate some traffic off 138. We have coming out, the budget lets in November coming out of Home Depot, Walmart area that loops back around going to Athens. Those are the kind of projects that SPLOST would have paid for.
Yeah.
That one coming out of Home Depot, that was already in the works. But the one thing that you haven't asked about, and I'll tell you, long range plan. In July, the budget lets for our truck route. The first time they formerly called the bypass, but the first time the bypass was ever mentioned, I was in high school, and I thought that's the dumbest thing. There's no reason for that. And really, whoever had the vision for it in 1988, pretty impressive, well ahead of his time. But you fast forward now 33 years, and we still don't have it, and we've needed it now for 10. So that budget lets next July, and they're in the process of acquiring properties right now.
Right. That'll be awesome. That'll be good.
So the day that starts, looking at planning and efficiency and safety, the day that starts, we're all going to be on cloud nine, because now you see progress actually happening. Nobody believes it's going to happen yet.
Yeah.
But I'll assure you, I've been in the DOT offices in downtown Atlanta, and they said, "Here's your plan. This is where it's coming, and congratulations."
Yeah.
And get out of my office.
And so that will stop those semis from driving down Main Street.
That should cut about 90% the first day.
I hold my kids so tight because I'm like, one step
You don't want them to
up,
You don't want them to say, "Hey, let's go to Scoops and pull from
take
you."
them.
I know.
So
Not a lot of us stay up every night worrying that, "Oh God, please don't let tonight be the night that something happens." Because it's on my shoulders, and I can't snap my fingers and go, "Get the bypass here right now." So a lot of praying goes in on this side, a lot of planning goes in on this side, and then sometimes they come together and it works out. When the bypass goes through, it will take 90% of the heavy trucks off the road coming through downtown. We will have to be ready at the Broad Street 78 intersection. We'll have to have improvements in that bridge, because it doesn't work now.
Right.
So that's in the plans. That kind of infrastructure is an absolute necessity, and will make life better for everybody.
Right, especially with the Publix, the Y, all that stuff coming up.
Oh yeah.
You'll have a situation like down 316 and 81 in Winder, kind of.
Right.
So
no bridge, but we will do efficiencies. A lot of folks love roundabouts. A lot of folks do not.
I love them.
I do too. It's the most efficient. It's the safest way to get through an intersection, and if it's really done right, it needs to be big enough. All it takes is doing it once to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And I see 2 roundabouts on either side of that bridge at 78 and Broad. One's going to have to encompass coming off 78, and we have another street that's like 100 feet away that is going to need to come into that same roundabout as well. So a lot.
Yeah. So many things we don't even think about.
Well, and by the way, we have Fiber to the Home project is underway. We took out a $50 million bond about 3 months ago. Started the planning, started the phasing on it. We should get the very first home fiber ready in the next week. But we've blown conduit, or we've dug conduit, and if it's overhead, we've done that too.
Yeah.
So now we're waiting on. There are 3 parts to it. There's one, it's blowing the fiber, which is really not the difficult part. 2, it is connecting it to the home, and then 3, there has to be like a cabinet that they can set every home. So let's say a cabinet has 240 homes worth on it. You set each one and then flip the switch, and it's good to go.
Wow.
I don't know anything about it, but I just told you everything about it.
Well, I think back to when to have the green boxes in front of our house.
Right.
We all play on, and you don't see those anymore, but you don't think of all the way things have changed, and
Right.
that's cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to live here. Like I said, we're in Loganville, but we want to.
So when do you move?
I know, exactly. I want some land.
And what's your husband's name?
Ryan.
Ryan, and he cuts the video, right?
He does.
Ryan, move your sweet wife to Monroe.
I know. We love our school though. So we're at Loganville Elementary School, and we are right behind it.
Great school. Is that Cami McGahee?
Yeah.
Cami McGahee, graduate from Monroe area. Wonderful family.
Yeah. So I keep saying maybe middle school. I don't know. We'll just see. We'll see how my kids are.
I can tell you, they're going to be as middle schoolers the same way every middle schooler is.
That I'll want to just yank them out of school just to shake them up a little. But yeah, with parts of it we love. Our street isn't great. Our house, our yard is a mess. Like, we are on a steep slope that, I don't know. We don't love yard work enough to be where we are.
Do you know who Steve Miller is? Steve Miller Band?
I mean, I've heard the name, I think.
Yeah, okay. You've heard I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Well, he also sang "Time Keeps on Ticking, Ticking, Ticking into the Future." Mm-hmm. Don't wait.
I know.
We keep getting more and more awesome here.
I
mean,
know.
And the whole purpose, really, and with apologies to people older than me, I'm not doing it for me, and I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it because I want my kids to come back home. Mm-hmm. So when you look at, okay, my kids have gone to college. When I went to college, I thought, I'm not coming home. There's nothing for me. Well, my 22-year-old actually does live here now, and she works for Minerva. My 20-year-old is in St. Augustine at Flagler at the moment. But she can, if she wants to get into chemistry, she can go to work at Takeda. She wants to get into engineering. We have engineering firms all over the place, and plenty of development to do.
Yeah.
You want to get into technology? Well, Facebook's coming. Mm-hmm. We have this company, that company, and that company that are also coming that I can't tell you about.
Yeah.
But Leggett & Platts is one. They said, look, we hire you to retire you. We have places you can go, and we're going to have more.
That's awesome. Yep. Bring back all the talent. Keep it here.
Right.
That's awesome. Well, I have some lightning round questions for you.
Okay. And I'm sorry if I talk too much.
No, you're good.
Cutting's all you need.
No, you're good. What we might do is break this into two episodes. I don't know. I'll let my husband decide
that
on
works.
That'll be his call. But okay, first one I had was, what activity would you put on your bucket list?
What activity would you put on my bucket list?
Or experience, just something.
I'm going to Sydney, Australia.
Awesome.
That's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I have a friend who lives there, and I told him that I'm going for my 57th birthday, and he said, "Why your 57th?" And I'm thinking, well, I might be able to afford to do that then.
Yeah.
Because that ain't happening right now.
Well,
but,
I think they're closed right now. They won't even let you in.
Well, yeah, they're locked down.
They say they've eradicated COVID.
They have not, because I talked to him the other day, and they haven't.
I'm in business groups with business owners over there. Yeah, it's
Right. I need to think of the bucket list thing, though. I want to play Augusta National. That would be at the top, the very top. I think I really enjoy experiences and going places. I'd love to go back to London. I'd love to see Paris as an adult. I played basketball over there when I was in high school, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I'd love, my daughter was a gymnast, my wife was a gymnast. I would love to have dinner with Simone Biles one night. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe she'll make friends with our Olympian.
With Javian.
player.
Yeah,
We'll
I
hang
know.
out, come back together.
And Javian's mom and I have worked together for 10 years.
Really?
I didn't know that she was Javian's mom, and she didn't know that I was the mayor of Monroe.
That's funny. All right, second question. What is something that you hate but most people love?
Should it be a food?
That's what.
Oh, no, you know what? I hate the NFL. I love college football.
I do too.
I don't see how anybody can waste his time watching the NFL.
Yeah, I've never gotten into the NFL. College football, I like baseball. I don't like basketball. Not my thing either.
Well, that's kind of that kind of happens. You know, I found out that with all my friends from school, we talk about our kids, and most of us all have girls.
Mm-hmm.
And we are now big gymnastics fans, cross fans, soccer fans. We're Gator fans. We are football fans.
Yeah.
But when it comes to our day-to-day, what interests us, yeah, give us those three sports and we'll be happy.
I went to Auburn University.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you know, the lovely little village on the plains.
Yes. Oh,
beautiful campus.
I still think back to that. I'm like, man, I hope I appreciated it when I was there as much as.
When were you there?
2004.
Okay. So a few years before Cam Newton.
No, he was there when I was there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because he got kicked out of the University of Florida for stealing. But that's a whole nother story.
When I was there, we went to the championship like every year because I remember they'd always do a lottery for the tickets, and every year I won them. When we went to New Orleans, and it was so random, my roommates would be like, "What? You get it every time." So that was
because
fun.
I'm awesome.
Yeah. All right, last one. Other than Monroe, what is your favorite city in the U.S.?
That's a good question too. I love the beach. I don't know if I would choose Anna Maria Island, St. Augustine, Florida, or Hilton Head.
I'm going to Hilton Head in October.
I love it. You know, Hilton Head was master planned by Charles Fraser, and it's clearly the intelligence behind the planning on that island is fantastic. Anna Maria is still old Florida. Not a lot there.
Yeah.
More now than when I moved up here 15 years ago, but that's where Julie and I had our first date. And then St. Augustine, that's where Anna is, but the oldest town in the country.
Yeah.
And I've spent a ton of time down there and just love the area.
My husband's family is down there, and we go down there periodically.
But you know what? New York City, not a place I would ever want to move. Pretty awesome town.
Yeah.
They're Yankees up there, but you know.
I've never been, but it's my plan that when my daughter turns 16 that we take her to New York City.
That would be a fantastic trip.
So she'll love it. She'll like it more than I do. I'm not a city person. I don't like the crowds, but she'll love it up there.
Dream job for me was to be the organizer of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be great.
Yeah, it would. That would be fun. Wow. This was fun. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't really ask where people can find you. I don't know if you want people finding you.
No, please. People can find me anytime. And my personal mobile phone number is 404-427-2707. My office is at City Hall. I'm there every day. Again, we're closed, so call me and I'll come down and see you.
All right. So I'll put that in the show notes. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you later.
Thank you, Autumn. Bye, y'all.
Congratulations on spending a few minutes getting a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Walton County business community. If you're feeling super generous, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are. If you're a business owner in Walton County and would like to be interviewed on our show, go to our Hometown Business Podcast Facebook page. Until next time, keep supporting local.